Keir Starmer ruled out a return to freedom of movement. Has he effectively ruled out joining the European Customs Union and European Free Trade Association?
He seems to me to be taking a very strong and very odd line in terms of Brexit. And, he was very keen to make sure that he was, as far as I could see, lined up exactly in the same place as the Conservatives on Brexit. So, he's in that failing to recognise that Scotland did not vote to leave the EU. There are recent statistics that show that if we had the same vote today, 72% of Scots would actually vote to remain in the EU. There's very strong European feeling here, and that absolutely was not understood in anything that he said. So, it's clear that the Conservatives and the Labour Party are both very much parties of Brexit, and that's not where Scotland's future lies. We don't want to see a future for Scotland where we're pulled further away from Europe and all of the benefits that we can gain from being part of that European family of nations. And I think that the difference in position has never been clearer. And the difference in the prospects for Scotland's never been clearer either, being hitched to this Brexit Westminster bandwagon where everything goes inwards and downwards, or the potential to look outwards and be part of that European family of nations. There is this issue of democracy. So one of the reasons that it's so important to me that we secure an independent Scotland is because I think that there is huge potential for us to be a fairer, more equal country where there is a government that people vote for, that they get. Obviously, Scotland has not voted for a Conservative government since 1955, but they still keep coming along, and a government which is looking after the priorities of the people who live here. And if we look at the comments that Keir Starmer made, that's quite extraordinary. He thinks that it's not, it's somehow for him to say that people in Scotland can't have an independence referendum despite them having voted for that. And he was completely unable to answer on the question of
he said it was about priorities. And he said it was about priorities for people, and that's paying their bills and feeding their children at the moment.
Well, of course it is, but it's not for Keir Starmer or anyone else to suggest that, he has the right to decide what decisions people in Scotland will make. They've made very clear decisions in terms of the way that they have voted. The Scottish Government has a mandate for that. He even suggested that if the Supreme Court finds that the Scottish Parliament can go ahead and hold a referendum, that shouldn't happen. So I think that it's a really extraordinary position that the Labour Party are now engaging in denying democracy. I don't think that can stand. I think that his whole interview seemed to show a real lack of understanding of the situation on the ground in Scotland, of the issues facing people in Scotland, whether that be on Brexit, whether it's on immigration more broadly, where there's no difference at all between the policies of the Conservative and Labour parties, or whether it be on the fundamental issue of democracy, which I think is something that should concern us all.
And on